To know the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur is to know about friendship. Two good friends began our congregation in 1804 in France, and friends have been working with us, side by side, in every one of the 210 years since. Together, we've taken our mission of education to cities and villages around the world, always standing with the poor, especially women and children, in the most abandoned places. But what about now? And what about the future? Well, we are certain our work will go on, because it is needed, and because we continue to be blessed with good friends who, like us, never quit. Friends who see, as we do, the promise in all children, no matter the range of their abilities. Friends who know, as we do, that hearts and lives are changed through education, and not just the type that takes place in a classroom. Friends who believe, as we do, in the dignity of every human being. We know all these things are true because the proof is with us every day. You can't miss the future at Corryville Catholic Elementary School. It comes through the hands and hearts of volunteer tutors and mentors who join with our sisters to help students succeed, and who lend a hand with critical life skills like reading.
When you come into Corryville, and the volunteers are here on that day, you'll wander into the library, you'll see them sitting side by side, reading a passage, discussing it, sharing a part of themselves. You'll see them in the hallways, you'll see them sitting on the stairway. You see them anywhere and everywhere. And there's the unconditional love.
I spend time with the students because I really believe in the Corryville mission, and I just hope that in some small way I can make a difference in their lives.
The thing that I love the most is the relationships that you build with the children, and they become your friend. And I enjoy the fact that they are progressing.
The volunteers are very important to our school. They bring the children one-on-one attention. They encourage the children and read with them. They form relationships with them. Often through high school and college, they stay with them. So they're very important.
I do feel that God has put these children here, that all the volunteers have special relationships with and have made a difference for these children. But I know when I go down and I pick up the second graders and they see me walk in that room and they know it's library day, they just get so excited. You see the smiles on their faces and their hands up in the air that they want to come up to the library and read with their volunteer. They come in this room and they look for their reading buddy. They give them a big hug, or they'll say to me, "Is my reading buddy here today?" And it just about makes your day when you see the smiles on their faces.
I've been in Catholic education for 25 years, and Catholic educators are dedicated. They're dedicated to living the mission. But Corryville takes it a step above. Through the support of the sisters, you know you have that foundation, that bedrock.
We accept children from various locations. We never turn anyone away. They really are profiting from an excellent education. I've met many children who say my best years were at Corryville Catholic.
Sister Rebecca knows about friends. She started her ministry in Nicaragua with a new friend she met after a meeting with the Bishop of Matagalpa.
Special Families started with an invitation to start a program to work with children who have handicaps. But more importantly, the bishop said he wanted me to work with the families that have children with handicaps. He had seen some families where a special child was born into the family and the family fell apart. And then he said, I've met other families that have a child with a handicap, and those families became much closer. They were able to cope, and they were able to work together because of the handicap of their child. And I started thinking of ideas, and I was really thrilled. And I left the office of the bishop and went to go home, but I got lost. And I thought, wow, here I am, I'm going to start this program, and I can't even find my own home. So as I'm walking, I heard a voice saying, "You look like you're lost." And I looked up, and there was a woman, and she says, "Would you like a glass of water?" And I said, "Oh, sure, I would love a glass of water." So I went up and I met Marlene Hernandez. And ever since then, 18 years ago, Marlene and I have been working together. Marlene is the mother of a child with multiple handicaps. The way to start this program was to do a census, door to door in all of Matagalpa, to get information about families that had children with handicaps. And with that information, we had over 500 families that were identified. We began to use that to visit those families directly in their homes. The biggest need that they talked about was needing therapy for their children, and a place where our children can be safe, where our children can play, and where nobody will make fun of them or make fun of us. We grew organically from the needs of the people. And when you really get a sturdy foundation, then you can really have programs that go more in depth and help. Like we can now have programs with ballet, we can have programs of water therapy. We had a dream to have a place where people with a handicap could come and be accepted. They could come and they could play and they could enjoy their life. So within this park, we have several programs. We have all of the playground equipment, which was all made by people with a handicap. All the paintings were done by our young people, and all of the imaginations came from the mothers. All kinds of people come, and they enjoy it, and we're able to work together, and we have our special education school here, and many times when they're on recess, other schools from Matagalpa rent the park, and together, what do? They get to know each other. They're no longer a person with a handicap and a person that's normal. They're children, and they're playing together. And that's what it's all about, is social integration and friendship and being able to just be yourself. The greatest need for a person with a handicap is mobility. And that's why we started this wheelchair workshop. We realized it took months and sometimes even years for somebody to get a wheelchair. And then you would receive this wheelchair and you wouldn't even have a way to fit your child into it. And we have about 24 people that have learned how to adapt wheelchairs. Familias Especiales is our yogurt program. And we really try to be as integrated as possible in special families. And one area of the person with a handicap that needs to be covered is nutrition. We have 14 workers at this point, and all of them understand the nutritional value of yogurt. When we have programs like therapy, we give the children yogurt because it helps them to grow stronger. We also have a program for mothers that are pregnant, so that these women will have a balanced diet and it would be able to prevent any handicaps. There are just a large number of programs that we can now do because we worked on the foundation with our mothers, and our mothers are organized, and they come for the different activities and for the different trainings. And the more that we can train the mothers, the better the situation is going to be for them and for their children. We never said to anybody, look at how poor we are. Look at how poor these children are. Look at the poverty that exists here. What we always said is, look what we're doing together, and if you want to help us, join us.
We've seen the difference friends have made in our inner city ministry called Power Inspires Progress. Most know it as Venice on Vine, one of the best pizza places in town. But it's really an urban classroom where women and men learn how to get and keep a job, where they brush up on reading and math skills and study for the GED. It's where, with our friends, we change hearts and lives of good people like Bridget. It was 3 years ago when we first met her.
For me, I was an alcoholic. I drank a lot. Ever since I was 10 years old, I was always around people who drank and smoked marijuana. I had a lot of negative people in my life when I was young because I didn't have a father or a mother figure in my life. If I didn't never enter in this program, Power Inspire Progress, and met Sister Judy and all the staff members, it would probably be bad, you know. I'd probably be still drinking.
And then when I came here, they said I had to go through 3 interviews. I'd never been on an interview a day in my life. When I came in, I was dressed inappropriately. They told me to go back home and put on some more clothes. So when I came back, I was dressed properly. I went through the 3 interviews and I got hired.
Power Inspires Progress seems to be different than other training programs. What we have found was that people have found a place where they can really belong, and they feel that they're cared for, and they help each other. They work with so many people here at Venice that have been in similar circumstances, and so then they help each other, and they help each other first to feel like they belong. And then the other thing is that they learn the culture of work. They have pieces of their education that need to be polished up, or they need to get their resumes together and get practicing coming to work, getting dressed, being on time, and then they can feel confident in moving on and taking a job.
First off, the first thing I did when I came here was I did dishes. In the midst of doing the dishes, I got to know Sister Judy a lot, learned how to do catering and everything, and then I moved up to do serving, the cook station, and then the registry. When I was promoted to be assistant manager at Venice on Vine, I felt very honored. I felt so happy and so wonderful, and I felt trusted. Words cannot express how I felt. I was just like so happy, you know, that someone will believe in me, you know, and trust me with that position, you know, and it was an honor. It was really an honor. And today I'm working at Oak Street as a janitorial maintenance cleaning person. It's a full-time job, and I love it. God sent me here to Venice on Vine, and Judy was one of the angels that was here. I think Sister Judy would be my forever friend.
We know friends make our mission possible. It's been this way for 2 centuries. It will always be this way. And we believe one other thing. We do not choose our friends. God sends them to us.